What's up out there, YouTube? Double D here with Tournage du Bois. Welcome back. Today we've got this massive piece of tulip wood. Just got the new lathe, the Rikon 70-30-40. Looking forward to pushing it a little bit. This is 24 inches at one point, corner to corner. The other one's 23.5, so almost square. Obviously a little bit bigger, well, a lot bigger than what the Jet would have handled, but we're going to push the Rikon a little bit. Want to try and get this turned. This will turn up to a 30-inch diameter piece. This isn't quite there. Diameter will be less than that, but let's see what she'll do. Let's get over to it. All right, so we have it roughed in. Basically, I'm going to need to fill this crack, deal with these little bit of cracking, and then we'll reshape. We'll go back and fix some of these blemishes on the outside. Super happy with how this is cutting. Super happy with the stability of this. This piece of tulip wood is just beautiful. So really excited as we continue to go in. It's not a lot to pick out. I just want to make sure I get any loose stuff that I can, so we don't run into any issues with that. The pith of the tree is right here at the lip of the rim, so we'll probably cut that back just a little bit. So one thing we are going to do before we do the CA glue though is we are going to use our sanding sealer. So we have our Mylan's sanding sealer. I'm not going to cut it with anything. Sometimes I do, but I'm not going to right now because the wood is not punky, so I don't have to get, I don't need to get it to absorb too awfully far. So we will just use straight sanding sealer on this. That way, the CA glue will not stain the wood. Give that a couple of minutes to dry, and then we will be back. And we are back. We got our sanding sealer on. I did scrape it back just a little bit. Now we're going to use our black CA glue from Star Bond. Now I did cut the top of this back just a little bit just to get it in a little better balance so I can get better speed. And so now I've been running it a little over 460. Now I can get it up probably close to 800. So there's 860 with barely any wobble. So now I can get really good cuts with my negative rake scraper. Put a little bit more CA glue in this one, and then I'll go back over it, and then we'll get to sanding the outside. But I won't bore you with that. I'll bring you back just when I start sanding, so you can see what that looks like. All right, we are back. So we have a new sander. It's an inertia sander from Simon Hope. My buddy Matt Held uses it and recommended it. So super excited about this, but I'll be doing the bowl here with the inertia sander, starting at 80 grit up to 400. So we will go from there. I will probably do another round of sanding sealer, but I won't bother you with that because you've seen that multiple times. So we'll come back a little bit later on. We have that sanded up to 320 grit, so we're going to hit it with our denatured alcohol, clean it up, pop that grain, and then we'll hit it with 400, and then we'll do our abrasive paste from Brad's Workbench. Now normally I sand around 300 RPM. I did drop it down. I've been running just under 200 RPM for most of this. This is super duper smooth right now. So really happy with it. I've also been sanding in both forward and reverse. But we're now going to use our abrasive sanding paste from Brad's Workbench. So there is a link to his store down below. So definitely check him out if you have not, and see what you think of it. That is beautifully smooth. Love that abrasive paste. So what we'll do is we'll get this flipped around and be right back. All right, we have that flipped around, so now it is time to get to hollowing this out. Going from there, the nice thing about this, I can have the tailstock up and have that extra support. Now, before we get much further, I do want to do some sanding sealer because I want to patch, I want to put some black CA glue on the inside on these cracks, just for extra precautions. So we're going to do this real quick, and then we'll black CA it, and then we will finish hollowing out the inside and go like we normally do with everything else. And we are back, so now we're going to do our black CA glue. So for our finish today, we're going to use Odie's oil. Never even been opened, so I have not used this before. Got a couple of friends who do. Tim over at Bad Apple Woodworks, and I'll put a link to his channel up in the corner. And then Hodge over at Hodgepodge Woodworks, I'll put a link to his channel as well. He has also used it, so I'm going to give it a try, see how it does. It says to use it sparingly and to buff it on, so I don't have a whole lot. We'll just see how this goes. So in the instructions it says buff in and then you buff it off. So I'm just going to wipe it around and then get a clean rag and wipe off anything that is remaining on the surface. And I'll do the inside that way, and then I'll do the outside the same. Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that piece. So we have our piece of tulip wood. It is 14 3/4 inches across, 5 3/4 inches tall. We got our base on it. As you saw, it did come off the lathe. The tailstock saved it from being destroyed, but I left the marks in there because that's part of this piece's story now. Finished with the Odie's oil. Went on well. I think I used too much. My blue rag started disintegrating, so I've got to learn that a little bit. Pretty happy with this. I mean, there are a few little tool marks inside just because of the size and the vibration that I was getting through it. Sanded a lot. You don't feel them really, but you can see them a little bit. So a little bit to learn with the new process, but that lathe is a monster. So definitely excited about what I'm going to be able to create with this and go from there. If this is your first time here, please do consider subscribing. If you like the video, mash that thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. Leave your comments, feedback down below, because I look at them, I read them, I respond to them. So thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time.